Hi, my name is Marcia Jews. Welcome to STEM City USA's coverage of the Women of Color STEM Conference. Through all 3 days, we will be bringing you incredible interviews with inspiring STEM pioneers leading the way in industry, government, academia, and around the world. And now, please welcome our next guest.
Hello, my name is Maria Thorpe, and I work at the Naval Air Systems Command, Naval Air Warfare Center, Aircraft Division. I am the director of the Human Systems Engineering Department. One interesting fact about me is that I was the 2021 Maryland Mother of the Year.
Welcome to Women of Color STEM Conference. 28 years we've been doing this, and we're here in Detroit and having a wonderful time. And I'm sitting here today with Miss Thorpe.
Yes.
And she is the Director of Human Systems Engineering Department at the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division. Now, we just saw your video, but I'm telling you, you've been doing some amazing things, girl. How did you even start this journey?
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. You know, the journey started when I was a young girl in Philadelphia. I love to take things apart, and I'm sure you've heard that story before. But for me, it started with a Barbie doll. And it started because I wanted to make Barbie move. You know, I want her arms to bend in certain positions. So I would take her apart and try to figure out ways to put her in the positions that I wanted her to stand in or sit in. So it was exciting for me to start there. And then I just started enjoying things like putting toys together and taking things apart. We weren't rich in my family, so sometimes I had to ad-lib. And the way I could get things that I wanted was to make them.
Now, that's a powerful statement. You started making things. So that was the beginning of your engineering career?
I guess so. I didn't know what engineering was back then.
Right.
I just knew I wanted something. And my mom said, well, you know, we can't afford that. But if you work hard, maybe do a little chores, you'll have a little bit. But, you know, I was impatient. I wanted it now. So I figured out ways of how to, you know, bring things together, to put an idea together and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that just the curiosity of it all is really important.
Yes.
Right? That you see it, and there has to be more than just this.
Yes.
And so now what you're doing, you're taking apart human systems at this major corporation. How did you end up there?
You know, I wouldn't say end up there.
Okay.
It was something I saw, I enjoyed it. I started out working on a radio program. It was a radio replacement. We had a challenge that happened out in the field, and we wasn't able to locate someone. And so the program I was working on afforded me the opportunity to design the next system so that would never happen again. And so that was one of the things I did that really got me engaged in being able to take care of the human who's out there doing all the challenging, innovative things we want them to do, and making sure that they could do it and come back home and live to do it again.
And it could be life or death if they're out in the middle of a desert or some
Absolutely.
other disruptive area.
Yes, absolutely. And that can happen.
It can happen. So as a little girl, I love this and I ask this question a lot, but how did you see yourself and what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I am the youngest girl of 8. And so I was fortunate to have a lot of people who wanted to share and helping me to grow. And that was from my oldest sister, who people thought I was her child because she was 18 when I was born. And so they allowed me the opportunity to explore and took me places where I could learn. You know, I'm from Philadelphia, and we have the Franklin Institute there.
Yes, you do.
So I spent some time there as well. But being around people who thought you were different but special and allowing you to explore different opportunities. One person in particular I recall was my teacher, Miss Green, Emily Green. I will never forget her.
I love it.
She introduced me as a young black girl from inner city Philadelphia to things I had never seen before. I remember the place she would take us. The very first place she took us was the Kaiser School. And in that school, it allowed you to build different things, to create, to use your imagination to develop something. And that was something she shared with a couple of her students. And so from that point, it just, I felt like I could do things, not knowing what engineering was. At first, I wanted to be an archaeologist because, I looked at a few shows. I loved Wonder Woman and Bionic Woman, and, a show that was called, that had women characters in them that were doing amazing things. And so that's kind of helped to frame that I could do something good too.
And you're still doing something good. So let's talk about what you're doing today
Absolutely.
and how this is impacting the world.
Well, for me, the work that I do impacts naval aviation, and in fact, it impacts the world. I am on the human side, but the humans are doing amazing things in technology, using our technology to do things that we have to do. I like to say anything that touches your human or the human touches in naval aviation, my team is responsible for that. From anything from things like the ejection seats that will get them safely out of the aircraft to all of the technologies that they wear to eye protection, the helmets. No, helmets just don't protect your head. They are systems that allow you to do various things. Anything like AI, artificial intelligence. We do things man-unmanned teaming, integration with the human into the systems that they have to use. That is some of the things that I want me to contribute to the technology that you see here today.
And I think it's really amazing just being involved in this environment of engineers, right? And it's really fascinating because it's how many people that are here to this weekend that their minds are wickered to deal with all of the small things that can explode into the largest system,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And it fascinates me how you can do that and still be able to be on a level playing field
Yes.
with those of us who don't have that acumen, right?
We all have our own acumen.
That's exactly
And I think
right.
being a system engineer, my background is electrical engineering.
Okay.
Explored and grew into system engineering. Being able to integrate technology, systems, to make the world a better place, to do what we need to do, to get out technology that can be beneficial to the community at large and at home, is just a positive thing that I think many more people can get involved in if they just had the right exposure earlier on in their life.
Right. And that's real, because people don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
And if people aren't talking about that in your house or in your neighborhood
Yeah.
or at your school, then how you going to know what you need to do if nobody's around you doing that?
Exactly. I recall when I went home and told my mom I was going to be an engineer, and she looked at me and she said, "Are you going to be a train conductor?" I said, no, not that type of engineer. And so I proceeded to kind of tell her some type of opportunities that engineers did. But my teachers, they were the ones who kind of pushed me and shared with me opportunities in engineering.
Wow.
So at a young age, I was introduced to PRIME, which stands for the Philadelphia Regional Introduction for Minorities to Engineering.
Oh, you're kidding.
And in that program,
Wow.
it allowed me to explore engineering at different levels through different universities in the Philadelphia area. So I would do a summer like at Temple, a summer at Villanova, a summer at Drexel University. So it allowed me, and I got to go to after school programs during the school year.
I love it.
Yes.
That's really powerful. Something like that needs to be deployed in cities all over this country
Yes.
because there are so many children that don't have the resources to do it. But moreover, they don't have the ability to do it because the environment doesn't provide that type of education,
Yes.
which is critical for your development. You've
Yes.
got to see something and that you've never seen to know that it's even there.
Yes.
Excuse me. The other thing I say is you don't know what you don't know.
Absolutely. And that's why I love the organization that I work for, NAVAIR, Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division. It allows me to get out in the community and share opportunities with our youth. We also bring them on site so they get to see what an airplane looks like. They get to see what an engineer does.
That's
You know, I
wonderful.
have over 25 labs to take care of the human, to develop systems. I bring teachers in, I bring students in. My team spends time together. I've put a program together for one of our local high schools where we would go in the classroom, we'd run it there, they come in our lab and they do the work.
I love it.
And so, again,
Hands-on.
hands-on, introducing those young folks to opportunities that are right in their community is so key. So I'm fortunate to work at an organization that allows me to do that.
That's critical, though. And, you know, how do you expect a child to dream if you don't know what those dreams are supposed to be about?
Exactly.
And if they have not made that, if they haven't been exposed to it, then it's impossible
Right.
to get there from here,
Yes,
for real.
If you can see someone like you can believe that you can do it.
That's right.
You know, my mantra growing up was see it, believe it, achieve it. So being able to see someone allows you to dream that you can do it,
Right.
believe in yourself, and then make it happen.
That's right. And we have to do that. And
Yes.
unfortunately, we don't have enough communities that are committed to that. And, you know, we have to really sit down and start looking at our leadership and what they're doing for how we're going to develop and empower our young people.
Absolutely.
They want to learn.
Yes, they do.
They're inquisitive.
Yes, yes.
They want that, and we have to give it to them.
And we have to show them. You know, my husband and I, we've been fortunate. So we wanted to give back to the community. So we started what's called the Waldorf Chess Club.
Oh,
And we
I love
teach chess. We teach our kids how to critically think, how to collaborate, how to strategically plan, all through the game of chess.
right.
And it also helps them with their schoolwork.
Exactly.
Yes.
And each movement, and it happens, it's really for in life, because chess is the ultimate in how you function in corporate America, because each move needs to be strategic,
Exactly.
be it government or corporate,
Yes.
or an association.
Well planned out.
And you got to see yourself there and getting there, and how you gonna get there,
Yes.
and be able to look at that board and see those moves,
Yes, yes.
because
right.
they're moving all the time.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Give me 3 things for young women that look like us that they should be thinking about or considering as they start matriculating through school.
You know, I'll keep this simple because there's so much we should be thinking about. But one of the things, and we kind of talked about it, was I call it my 3 P's of success.
Okay?
Have a plan. You know, think about what it is you want to do. Get mentors and individuals who may be able to help you. The other thing is be positive. Because, you know, sometimes when you're moving into something new, you don't know everything you need to know. But if you keep a positive attitude, people want you in the room.
Right.
So be positive.
Right.
And the next thing, be persistent. Things don't happen overnight.
At all.
It doesn't grow as quickly as we would like. It's not like on social media. And sometimes you just got to knock on the door more than once.
That's
so
right.
be persistent. So those are my 3 things. Be positive, have a plan, and be persistent.
That's wonderful. I love it. Be positive, have a plan, and be persistent. Okay. Maria Thorpe, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank
we
you.
look forward to seeing you for the rest of the weekend and seeing you at BEA in February.
But thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.